name is Satpal. I run my office in Liverpool. You are in stage 2 right now. Looks like you are about to be a leader. So cha-ching, great stuff. Leadership where the game really starts. So what I want to talk about today is there's something on your stage 2 sheet called as, it's under your gold section, knowing your numbers, knowing your critical numbers. So let's just talk about it. What are the critical numbers that you really need to know to be successful in a business? The first thing is in the field. So that's the first thing you need to know. In the field, when you're doing sales, there are 2 or 3 things that you really need to be knowing, 2 or 3 numbers. The first one is under your law of averages, how many doors you need to be knocking every single day. That is one of the most important things that will help you to do better at sales. The second most important thing in sales will be knowing how many people you got to speak to every single day. Because if you don't see enough people, you will not be able to do as many sales that you're looking for. The third most important thing in that would be how many people you need to close every day. Because if you don't know how many people you're closing, your success ratio is not going to be that good. So my advice would be sit down with your leader, make sure you know what your numbers are in the field, and the more time you're going to spend in the field, it's going to help you analyze yourself. So the best thing you could do, this is what I did when I was on stage 2 and about to be a leader. I used to sit down every day in the evening. I used to look at my callback tracker, and I used to see, there was days when I had to do more closes to do more sales. There was days when I had to do less closes to do more sales. So you just got to make sure you got a good average, and you know what's your average during the week, so you know the numbers. So that's the first point. The second thing I have for you in knowing your critical numbers is called as break-even point. I'm not sure if you've ever heard this, but I would have never heard this point before I started in the company. But remember, you're independent, so it's important for you to be profitable. You're kind of running a mini business in your owner's business. So in that aspect, I would strongly advise you to sit down with the leader or sit down with the owner and go through something called as a needs and wants list. Now, don't get scared. It's not that scary. The terminology is quite, you're like, what is needs and wants? Sit down with them, they'll explain you. Needs is something what you need to live. That can be anything like your rent, that can be your travel cost, that can be your food, that can be, I don't know, if you're a smoker, smoking is a need, can be smoke as well. That's your need. So you want to know every single week how much money do you need to make sure you can cover up all your important stuff, all your day-to-day requirements. Then you have something called as a want list. Wants can be maybe taking your partner out on the weekend to a nice restaurant. A want can be buying a new suit. A want can be going out on the weekend and just spending a lot of money. Want can be anything. So the critical number you want to know is you want to know how much money you need for your wants. Sounds exciting. And then you want to know how much money you need to fill your needs. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And then you got to add it up, and you know exactly what are your expenses every single week. Once you know your expenses, it's very easy to make something called as a profit. Remember, every business runs for one reason, and that reason is profit. So unless you know what the break-even point is, you will never be able to make a profit. So my big advice to you right now would be to sit down with your leader, sit down with the owner, and they can just coach you through this, and that will help you. And finally, in knowing your critical numbers, I would advise you would be knowing your criteria to progress. Remember, as a company, the biggest asset we have is you can progress at your own speed. But if you don't know what numbers you need, you will never be able to progress. So the first criteria you want to know is what's your criteria to get promoted leadership. Remember, stage 2 is becoming a leader, which is stage 3. So you want to know in your office what's the criteria so that you can become a leader. Different offices have different criteria. Your office will have your own criteria, so make sure you know that. The other criteria that you want to know is once you become a leader, how to get to stage 4, which is called as a crew leader. Again, our business is a criteria-based business, so you want to know what numbers and how many leaders you want to promote, how many sales you're supposed to do as a team, what your quality percentage reject rate has to be to make sure you can get into stage 4. And the other one after that is you want to know on stage 5, what is the criteria to go to stage 5. I remember being the leader, and after that, the only reason why I was coming to the office every day, I just knew that I had to promote X amount of leaders, I had to do as many, X amount of sales as a team, and I had to make sure that my quality was below a certain percentage so that I could get promoted to crew leadership. Remember, our business is all criteria based. So the more you know your criteria, the more you know your critical numbers, it's going to help you. Cha-ching, thanks for listening, and all the best for your promotion.